It gets bad.
Push that guy to the limit.
Yeah, yeah. And he tried to get a restraining order on her and her. And even have like taken to the courts on how they be calling him and taking him and whatever to the court and did. So you know they always one side.
That's what it's bad though. Columbus too, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff ain't no joke, man.
What's his name? Stan.
Right. I know, man. Heck yeah, man. It's like,
At first you didn't think he was gonna need it for it.
right. Get this puppy. It seemed like I had something different last time. I don't know.
Is it that hand sanitizer bottle?
I don't know. I feel like I had something different. I don't know. We'll rock with what we got, though. All right, fellas.
Trying to get a piece of paper again from them.
Yeah, I don't know. Where's the paper at?
Because I was going to take the little car, but they had no gas in it. So try.
Here go a tablet. Here go a tablet.
Yeah. No way.
You need a pen?
That's all right up there.
All right. All right, brothers. We rocking and rolling, man. Another session of the Father Within class, man. We getting it in. How y'all brothers feel, man?
Good.
Yeah. We've been building, man. We've been peeling back these layers, man. Something Tone said. He said, man, you know what? This is giving me a better way to think about how to process this stuff, man. You know, like, that's good stuff, man. That's what it's about. You know, these conversations, man, it helps us to be able to do this great work that we got to do with being a father, man. Understanding what fight to fight. If we don't understand what fight to fight, then how we going to fight that fight in the correct way? Right? If we don't talk about it, if we don't think about it, we got to focus on that fight in order to be able to fight it in the correct way to where we can be successful. If we don't, then guess what? We're going to get knocked out, man. That's just what it is. So then that's why it's so important for us to continue to peel back these layers and establishing a strong, positive relationship. Now, we always going to do the recaps because why? The recaps is what's necessary for just to continue to burn it in our brain, right? Because ain't nothing like repetition. Just continuing to repeat before we peel back the next layer. Every week, we're going to continue to do a recap of what we already covered. So, first thing, strong, positive relationship. Y'all remember what that looks like?
Breaking down barriers.
Yep. A strong, positive relationship is a relationship without barriers, right? Yep, because you have the ability to be able to transfer information. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, I want my children to be able to access the information that I have. We all got experience, and you want your children to be at the age that they are, accessing all of the years that you've been on this earth, right? At the age that you are. That's what's powerful. I always say, man, the reason why the projects be the projects and they continue to be like that throughout generations is because the information isn't transferring. So you have, man, children growing up making the same errors that their parents has made, right? Because they wasn't influenced by their parents to do anything different. the relationship wasn't in place to be able to transfer the information. So then that's why you see, man, children say, man, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do some of the same things that my parents did, right? Because the parents haven't established a relationship to get them to not do some of the stuff. Or maybe they still doing it. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's so important for us to establish that strong, positive relationship, because we want to be able to influence our children to put them in a place of success, right? That's what it's all about. So the first thing in establishing a strong, positive relationship with our children, remember, fellas, what do we gotta figure out? We gotta figure out what type of father it is that we want to deliver to our children. We don't want to just give our children any old father, right? No, we don't want to be careless about this work that we doing. So the first place that it starts is saying, man, how am I going to do this work? How am I going to deliver this father to my children? What type of father am I going to deliver to my children? So when we come to that conclusion and that understanding, what do we got to do to come to that conclusion on what type of father we're going to deliver to our children?
Come to the conclusion?
Yeah. How do we figure that out? How do we say, you know what? That's the type of father that I'm going to be.
You can look at influence from other places.
Okay.
Influence from other places to put a plan together.
Okay.
And then have an objective and then follow through with it.
Okay.
Mine was just look at all the other, my upbringing and the parents and what I liked and what I didn't like, and basically look more at what I didn't like and see how that came about. So
right.
that I can understand if that starts to come into me. That's the way I go about it.
Now this is what's applicable, right? That's what it is, Stone. It's like we gotta just, man, reflect on our past. And when we reflect on our past and we say, man, you know what? These are the positive influences, these are the positive interactions that I had with my parents when I were younger, right? And I'm going to duplicate those same positive interactions in my parenting because I already know it to be right, right? That's what we want to do. And then after we look at the positive interactions and we duplicate that, like you said, Tone, what do you do next? You identify the negative. And once you identify the negative, now it is up to you to resist the negative. It's simply saying, man, I'm not about to give my children the same negative interaction that I had from my parents when I were younger, because I already know that it weakened the relationship between me and my parents. Why? Because it produced some negative feelings inside of me when I was looking at my parents, right? So if my parents said that, man, you know what, I'm going to come through today, and then they didn't come through, guess what? It produced that negative feeling inside of me. I'm going to be intentional and deliberate not to do the same thing with my children. So when I tell my children I'm going to come through, guess what? I got to be there without a shadow of a doubt, because I already know that, guess what, man, hey, that's not no good luck. Because I already know it's going to produce that negative feeling. I'm conscious about what I am doing with my children, right? Because I'm saying, man, I'm going to reflect on my past. I'm going to duplicate the positive. I'm going to identify, and then I'm going to resist the negative, right? That's the first step in establishing the type of father that I want to be to my children. And then what you say, Dave, is that you say you look outside of yourself, different influences, right? Yup. So then now you're looking at TV shows. I was just looking at My Wife and Kids again last night. I've been looking at that the past couple of days. I got that on repeat.
Damien?
Yeah, yup, Damien. Yup, Damon Wayans. Yup. That brother is hilarious, man. Man, that brother is hilarious, man. That brother is hilarious, man.
I don't even like to show the show.
Right, and something that he just showed me yesterday too, and I was watching the show because when you got multiple kids, it's like they was trying to say, you know what, no, it wasn't My Wife and Kids. No, it was the Fresh Prince. It was the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It was the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I've been watching these shows, right? Like, I ain't gonna lie, this is what I've been, right. Man, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, man, Uncle Phil, he had told, it was Ashley, what's the other older one?
Carl?
Not Carlton, but the older daughter.
Oh, I forget her name.
You know, the light skin one?
Oh, my God.
So they was all tripping. They was in his computer trying to find his will because they was like, man, he loves me more, right? You know, they was like, he loves me more. Like, we gonna see what's going on in the will, and we'll know who he loves more. And then he caught him inside of the computer trying to look up his will, right? And then that's when they said, man, go ahead and let us know, man, who you love more, man. Like, we just trying to figure it out. It's okay, you know. And then what he said was just something that was profound. He said, man, I love all of y'all equally. I love each of y'all differently, though. It's different things that I love about each of y'all. And I said, wow, man. And he was able to identify what it is that he loved about each of the children, right? And that was powerful. So when he said that, I said, man, you know what? That's some good stuff. And I started to do that too, saying, man, just telling my children, man, you know what? Hey, I love the way you got a sense of humor. You know, just pointing out those things about themselves that is positive, you know, so you know, so then they know that you are really looking at them, right? And being specific about what it is that you know that you care about them about, right? It's just something that I just, man, applied to my parenting. But this is what it's all about. You looking outside of yourself, looking at other fathers, doing what they doing, and you taking from them things that you say, man, you know what, I might want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So me doing movie night, that's because somebody said, man, we do movie night once a week. I said, man, I'm going to go ahead and do movie night, right? And I've been doing that, man, consistently for about like 3-4 months now because somebody said it, and it made sense. Before, it was never no day set for a movie night, but now I'm like, we would just go to the movies. It'd be like, man, come on, let's just go. You know, just out the blue. You know, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. Let's just go. You know what I'm saying? Let's just do. You know, but now I'm like, man, no, I want to have some type of structure to where the children know that every week this time is going to be movie night. Thursday, movie night. That's going to be something that they're going to have in their brains when they become older. Like every Thursday, I know we did movie night. What am I doing? I'm creating an experience, right? A positive experience because it's something that they like, right? They get to pick out the movie that they want. And not only that, they get to pick out this candy and we get to sit down in the movie chairs downstairs in the basement, right? And we get to get a red box and watch a movie, right? This stuff is powerful. I kid you not.
My dad used to do that, but like I remember because I did the same thing. Like with the kids, like my sister, she has custody of my daughter, but the pizza on Friday every night. It's before they messed up the pizza place.
Right.
The choice of I got 1 week, you know, the kids had the choice of the next week where you want the pizza at. Because we was gonna have pizza Friday night, you know, and sit down and eat popcorn. You know, back then that's when you shut it up. Absolutely. And it was a movie night and whatever, but we got pizza and popcorn every Friday night. That's one thing Dad did for sure.
Wow. And wasn't that positive for you though?
Yeah, that's one of the good things, like you said. You remember that translated. It trickled on down to me and my sister. You know, when you say good, positive experiences. So.
That's heavy. Too. When I was growing up, my mom, we did the movies. You know, I got to pick out a game I wanted, and then I pick out a movie, and then you know, we all watch the movies together on Friday. Yeah, it'd be Friday.
Wow.
And it'd be like once or twice out of the month. You know, it ain't consistent throughout the month, but that's good though, because once or twice out of the month, you know, I got my game. I watch the movie with them, but get to watch mine. They watch it with me. I watch theirs. I go in my room, go play the game. You know, which is all cool.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, that was So I tried to do that with my kids. You know, it ain't consistent, but just did the best I could.
Right. But now, listen, and I'm a firm believer that maybe why it wasn't consistent because you wasn't focused on it like that, right? Mm-hmm. You wasn't really focused on it. But now it can change. Once we start to really focus on it and say, hold up, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do that which was done with me when I was younger, right? It's a difference. See, a lot of times, we'll do the positive things that were done for us when we were younger, but we'll just do them here and there. We won't have no consistency with it because why? Because we're not really focused on it. We're just operating on autopilot, so to say. right? And just like we do the positive on autopilot, we'll do the negative on autopilot. So then that's why it's so important to have that focus in this fatherhood piece and what we doing, because now we can be intentional. So now, I kid you not, when I'm not feeling so well to do a movie night, I'm still committed to doing movie night because I've talked about it, I've focused on it, I can't turn my back on it. Whereas if I wasn't really focused on movie night like that, I might would say, well, we'll do it another day, right? I might would let my feelings dominate my behavior. But because my mind is fed what it's been fed and saying, man, this is what I'm doing to establish a strong, positive relationship, I am going to do these things, right? Intentionally. And then we'll see where our relationship will be 6 years from now. If you continue to string along, we just string together these small, positive things. And then this is how we have a positive, strong relationship, because we continue to be consistent with the positive interactions, right? Just consistent, like saying, so we can say, boom, right now, even if you don't have your children in your custody, you can say, man, well, I'm gonna make for sure that I'm going to call every day, or not every day, but this day, at this time, video chat, whatever may be the case. Or if not, I'm going to write a letter this day, this time, regardless if they are there or not, just to let them know that they was on my mind. And then when I do see them, I'm gonna give them the letter, right? Because it be some custody issues going on, and I understand that. So then that's what we got to do. We still got to figure out something to where we say, man, you know what? I'm going to just get into the mind. I'm going to condition my mind, to do what I need to do as a father, right? It's all about conditioning. So now it's automatic though. But that's what it's all about, just having that focus on being that type of father that you desire to be. But it's based on reflecting on your past, looking at the positive, duplicating that, identifying the negative and resisting that, looking outside of yourself, extracting things from other parents that you see, fathers, mothers, whoever you see out there in society, and applying them to your parenting. That's what it's all about, right? That's how we get it done. So after we understand, man, what type of father that we want to deliver to our children, the next thing that we talked about is what type of adults do we want our children to be, right? We want to focus on making sure that we got the goals set for our children.
I ain't even perfect, so
Jeez.
just say for me, I'll be afraid for him, but I realize, just like my mom did, hey, you gonna scrape your knee, get up, boy, you good? You ain't dead?
Right.
So it's just putting that more in me of, all right, I'm just gonna try to give them the best I can. Hopefully they make the right decisions. Still scaring me to death though.
So this is what's next level, Tone, is that what can take away some of that fear is having that direction and saying, man, boom, this is what I want them to be. These are the character traits that I want them to have when they are adults. These character traits will make them be successful without a shadow of a doubt, right? And once you understand that, now everything that you are doing when you are interacting with them is establishing those character traits. You are making sure that you are instilling those character traits inside of your children. So now if that is your goals, game time. We ain't thinking about what type of profession that we want them to be. We are thinking about what type of character that we want them to be. We want them to be a character that will warrant success, right? We don't want them to be no football player, no lawyer, no doctor. We don't want them to be no police officer. We don't want them to be no firefighter. We want them to be what they have been designed to be. Because when they become who they have been designed to be, then guess what? They will be successful. We don't want to place them into the box of being no dang on lawyer, and really what is called for them to be was a garbage man, and we got them being a lawyer and they really should have been a garbage man. Yeah, it's crazy. So now when they doing that lawyering, right, they're not going to feel successful. They are going to be able to make money and they can be good at it, but they're not going to feel fulfilled because what they was designed to do, they really don't have the opportunity to do it because you have guided them down a path of what you thought was good for them. what profession that you respected or society respected, right? It's certain professions that society will say, man, nah, that ain't respectable. And then parents don't try to get their children to fall into those professions. Oh man, you don't need to be no artist, or you don't need to be no musician, or you don't need to be no speaker, or you don't need to be that. That ain't making no money, right? You need to be this. You need to do this. You got to be responsible. But what you want to just teach your children is the character traits that they need to be successful. And when you give them that, now that can ease the worry that you might have of where they're going to end up in life. Because now you saying, man, boom, you got the tools. I know you got the tools to be successful. Like whatever you do, wherever you at, I'm good because you got the tools to be successful. My son, he's 23 years old. I kid you not. I'm confident in whatever he's doing. I'm confident, and I'm not saying that he's not making errors, but I'm confident that he'll be able to bounce back from them errors. I'm confident that he'll be able to identify where his errors are at and change up the way that he's doing things. Right? I'm confident in that. So I'm not going to say that he's not going to bump his head. I'm not going to protect him from bumping his head, but I believe that he is prepared for what he has to come up against. So is he struggling? Yeah, he can be struggling. He can be going through it. But I truly believe that I've given him the tools that he gonna need to be successful. Because nobody is going to get it all the way right. Right? Nobody runs a perfect race. This is something that we all know. But when you go off the tracks, what happens then? What do you do then? What do you do when you get knocked down? What do you do when you get punched in the face? What do you do, right? What do you do, right? That's the thing, right? It's easy to be on offense all the time, but what happens when, you get knocked down? What happens when failure, man, presents itself? What do you do when failure arises? And that's what I'm confident in, is that my son, he'll be able to bounce back. He'll have the tools. That's what it's about. So when I sit and I say, man, did I do my job? That'd be what I'll be basing it on. Does he have the character traits that he need to have to be successful, to go at life? To when he's looking at his tool belt, he like, man, my tool belt, it got a Phillips head screwdriver here. It got a flathead. I got a drill. I got a hammer. I got a measurer. I got a tape measure. I got a leveler. I got all kind of things in my tool belt to be able to do life with. I don't want him to be an adult and he looks in his tool belt and that puppy, man, skimpy. And he like, man, I ain't got nothing but this one little flathead screwdriver. What am I going to do when I come up against a Phillips head screw? That this flathead can't, I'm gonna have to try to angle it, and that's gonna make my job so much harder. So I want my children to be adults with the tools that they need to be successful. And this is what the goals is all about. That's why we say we want to focus on the character, that we want them to have the character traits. And we focused on 4 character traits when we looked at what type of character that we want them to have. But I added another one. And right now, I just had my son, he just posted it on the refrigerator, right? It's a beautiful thing. I love that stuff, man.
You got a 6th one now?
Yeah, I got 5. I have 4, but then I added the 5th one, right? The first one is confidence, right? We want them to be confident, right? So the one thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to compromise their confidence, right? And if I'm focused on my children being confident, then one thing that I don't want to do is compromise it. You see what I'm saying? So if I focus on everything that they did that was wrong and don't look at the things that they did that was right, then what are they going to start to look at themselves as? Can't get right, right? They be like, I can't get right because dad only sees the wrong in me, and because dad only sees the wrong in me, I only see the wrong in me. I'm just going to do more wrong, right? So what is that saying? It's going to give them their self-worth is going to be low. They're not going to have no confidence, right? So I don't want to compromise their confidence, right? So the next one is what? Good decision maker. I want him to be good decision maker, meaning count your costs. I want him to understand, man, what is the cost to that decision that you're about to make? Make sure that you sitting down at the right table, because you might not want to sit there. Mm-hmm. Right?
My son got in the car today with his gym bag, with his book. I said, what's in that bag?
Right. Because I ain't about to get pulled over for no silly stuff. Like, I don't know what you got going on, brother. Like,
and then he said, no, Dad, if you want to share, I said, no, I'll be good. But then I'm just telling you this. You should be saying
right.
And don't feel bad about it.
That's good stuff. And then you got to be able to show him and tell him, like, listen, man, if you ain't doing what is necessary in life out here in these streets, man, I will go ahead and separate from you because I'm not going down because of you. So then that's what it is. Like, brother, you can't ride with me with stuff in your bag, brother. So he has to understand that. He has to be willing to separate from whoever when they compromising.
I'm in his boat because I be nonchalant with stuff. Because I'm so, I ain't got too many problems with me out there, so I be so nonchalant. Not realizing some people,
right?
It's like, hey, I ain't, I ain't with all that. It's like,
right.
And I be having to step back and be like, you're right. Let me go ahead and do it different.
That's no joke, Tony. That's no joke.
So, yeah, it'd be a battle with that. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be forgetting. Like,
no doubt.
It's just normal, man. What are you talking about?
Right.
No, it ain't.
Right. Heck yeah.
It's not normal, but that's what we consider.
Yeah, growing up. Yeah.
Normal.
Environment.
What do you consider normal?
It's really abnormal. Right.
And it's like, okay, in certain situations, it is normal because that's the part we know, in Cleveland. Cleveland got their own culture.
Right.
And people don't understand that. See, they even got their own accent. I know when you're from Cleveland, like when you're from Cleveland, right? Or Chicago, they got their own accents, their own cultures. Down the way, East Cleveland, they got their own culture within each culture.
Right. Right.
And it's like people don't understand that, and it is what it is. And down the way, man, you don't go down the way.
Right.
Unless you from down the way.
Right. No doubt.
You gotta be on point a certain way down the way. Why would you want to even be in a place like that?
Right. No doubt.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Right. No doubt. At high alert. On high alert. Right.
And you better have that. I mean, when they say,
ain't that crazy? Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
No doubt.
But it was a time when I was younger, just in that state of mind, when I tell my son just to have their chest out. When I told my people stayed in Uzi Alley when they was young. If you went over there, I went over there. But I didn't. I went there the first time. I'm over here for. I see these dudes looking at me, and I would have did something if I had to. My crazy character. Man, let's get out of here, dude. We ain't coming over here no more. Never again. Because you already see. We had the foresight. I ain't got nothing to prove. I'm making money at the time. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
The foresight. I didn't put myself in a position to put my chest out.
Right.
Because it didn't make sense.
No doubt.
So many people do.
No doubt. And then got to pay them consequences that they don't want to pay, man.
With the Mel,
that's dope, right?
Bravo, Mel Bravado, or being extra tough for no reason.
Bravado.
Bravado.
Yeah. The
mindset, which I realized I ain't with that mindset.
Right.
They don't get you nowhere.
No
but
doubt.
In certain places, that's survival. If you ain't got that mindset, they already pick up on, you soft.
Yeah.
You better have that mindset. You better have your ghetto eyes on it. They gonna take advantage of you. I don't want to be in places like that.
Yeah.
No doubt. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Around that type of mindset. And we can make a decision to not be around that, right? You know what I'm saying?
I always did.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. I used to see people, man, just move in a certain way, and I'm like, man, I'm not about to be around you. Like, I'm not about to be around you. No way possible, man. Like, you too off the rocker, man. I'm not about to be around you. I'm about to keep it short, right?
My cousin or something, and I got certain people, some of my family members be like, what are y'all gonna wear? And this is when I did occasionally go places. Well, then I didn't go. I was always a solo person. But it's, cuz, what you been drinking? No, I ain't going. Why? Why not, man? I said, no, because every time y'all go, he's an idiot. And I tell him to his face, I said, no, man, because if you ain't drinking, I go. We can go shoot some pool.
Right.
If you having one drink, I'm not going with you.
No doubt. No doubt.
Is you drinking? No. Then they would ask, okay, because I ain't going to drink. I go with you there. Let's go.
Man, shit.
Because I would know how you do it. I'm not. If
That
you
stuff
hear
ain't
stuff
no joke,
happen,
man.
you know,
That stuff ain't no joke,
so
bro.
I had the foresight. They would.
No doubt.
Where did you go? Cause I would just disappear because y'all was acting fools. I left. I told you I left though.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm not gonna be here. I see it coming.
And that's what it is. And that's why that good decision maker is so important, because it puts you in a premium place, you know, in life, you know, period. Because I mean, once you put together a string of good decisions, man, that's what it's all about. That's what equals success. Right. No, It's just looking at it. It's just saying, man, I see you drinking, you doing that. I see what it's going to be. Yeah. Right? I see people that be quick to, like, get ready to fight, and I'll be like, I'm not about to go with you because I'm not about to be fighting with you. You know, so I'll just rather let you go, and I'll stay back, man. I'll go somewhere else because I'm not about to. I want to, man, go around people that's cool and kicking it, right? Yeah. You know, like you know, that wants to crack jokes and laugh. Right, man, you ain't, man, I'm not about to be around that, man. Like, I tell people that off the rip. Like, man, if you ain't, right, if you got like a chip on your shoulder, you trying to prove something to somebody, it's like, man, I make the decision and I say, man, you know what, that's cool, man, we cool here, right here, but I'm not about to be around you a lot because I don't want what you got coming, because you're going to attract what's inside of you. If you got all of that hostility inside of you, you're going to attract it. And you can be saying that you okay with it right now, but I'm not okay with it. And that's my decision, right? If I know I'm not okay with all of the hostile environment, right, then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put myself in an environment that doesn't present that. Yeah. I'm going to put myself around people who are not hostile on the inside. They got some real stuff that they thinking about. Yeah. If I'm around brothers, it's like, man, I got a responsibility, man. I got to be a father, right? I know you ain't about to sit up here and just start licking shots somewhere, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you start licking shots, and then they sit up here and say it's both of us, and then I'm sitting up here in the police station right along with you. No, I don't want that. I'm dead serious. And I made that decision, man, from a lot of people that I grew up with. I'm like, man, I can't rock and roll like that. I'm not going to no spot with you. Brother, you got all this beef, man, you got out there. Man, I'm not about to, man, they ain't going to stop with you. And I'm not about to let nobody just do anything to me. Man. So it's like, so I would rather not even be in that situation, right?
Situations are created.
Right. By the decisions that you make.
Unfortunately, we know this brother, a friend of his, that just recently it was a young brother that got something happened last week, and they were like, "What happened to him?" They found him in a ditch.
Wow.
So you know, we got the inside of the street. You know what's happening. You know, we pretty much know what happened. He probably had something happen to him. They pushed him out of the car. You know how it go.
Right.
It was like,
it sounded like it was a hot shot.
So,
wow.
Similar, but so kind of it was similar, something like that. Dude had a overdose. Right, so and then now that's a whole different situation. However, people were talking about it, and I said, okay, here you go, I'm going in, you know, and I just said this just like a couple of days ago. Y'all sitting there talking about their brother, saying how could he have done that? You don't know how close them two brothers was,
right?
But they was living that street life. Ethically, he could have made a better decision.
No doubt.
But the stuff that y'all all live by,
he did what he was supposed to do.
He did what he was supposed to do. Right. I said, I'm one to sit up here and tell y'all, so what did y'all sitting there? Because I'm not the type to gossip. No, I'm a man, I hate hearing gossip. So I'm saying, what is y'all sitting up here gossiping for? You going to talk like men? I got to go.
Right. Because you can't grow from it, man. You can't grow from it, man.
Y'all, and then they all look at me like, I wish I would have said that. It's like, I wish I would have said that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Because y'all gossiping, dude, saying something what you would do, wouldn't do.
Man.
But you don't know what that dude, because he already had warrants and all that type of stuff.
Right.
What is he really supposed to do?
Right.
Go to the hospital with a body in the car?
No doubt, man. No doubt.
And I say, I hate saying this. It's uncomfortable to say that. But the way y'all live, because I don't live like that.
Right.
We could have. We chose not
I said,
right. Chose. Decision. I don't like the consequences.
I said, 99 times out of 100, all people that live that style, they would have did the exact same
thing.
Right. Stop sitting up here talking about that, brother. Let's grow from this.
Right. No doubt.
Don't put ourselves in situations like that.
No doubt.
Situations are created, and then you have to. And he did something. He made a bad decision.
Yeah, I like what you said, but the whole thing with don't put yourself in a situation, since I'm still young, and you know, I'm coming out of being a kid, it's gonna be in that situation. I'm just trying to learn the tools to give to them that when you get yourself in there, okay, now it's time to think.
Right, no doubt.
Okay, now what I gotta do to start bringing myself out of it. Because no matter what, somebody gonna put their hand in
It's a situation. A situation is going to present itself, is what you're saying, Tom. So you saying you want them to be able to think they way through it.
Like, okay, I got burnt a little bit, but I ain't get 3rd-degree burnt.
Right,
I realized,
right,
all right, that's
right.
good. I'm good.
They're gonna be in a space. They're gonna be in a space to where they done made a serious error, and now they got to make a decision on how to minimize the loss. Right? Like, because sometimes, have you ever seen people who have lost and then they just gave it all up and then they lost more? It's like, dang, you digging yourself deeper. Right? I heard somebody tell me, they said, man, one father, he tell me, he says, man, I can't pay the child support, so F it. He said, man, they wanna lock me up for child support, so I'm about to go ahead, sell some dope and rob somebody, man. And I'm like, bruh, like, when you do that now, instead of the little county time that you would do for not paying child support, bruh, instead of getting a job and making the child support payments, don't you think that would be the best way out or whatever, you know? Or, I mean, but he says, no, brother, I'm about to go ahead and catch a case and get like 6 and 7 years. I say, bruh, like, do you think you're making your situation better? Like, again, not good decision making, because even when he gets into that place, he's not going to feel like that he's accomplished his goal. He's not going to say, I feel accomplished. He's going to be in that situation and be like, man, this is worse than where I was. I guarantee it.
And you know, same conversation I've had with several brothers, because I've been there, child support, because they'll get up in Mansfield, probably the same way as Columbus. They'll get you in a situation, bro, so you behind, you making rearities and stuff. So all of a sudden they say you need to pay this much. Or you might have been behind on something. They like, we need this much money. We need $700, $1,000, whatever.
Right.
You got that, you go. So what they do, instead of paying, you know, because you get adjusted, you can pay $20 a month and you're paying something. So I tell these brothers, say they might be on the run, right, or whatever, and not made a couple payments. I said, if you pay that $20 a week, because you can do that.
Right, no doubt.
If you make that $20 a week, because it's really $40 a month or something like that, depending on whatever it is. If you pay that $20 a week or that $20 a month, so when you paying something, when it go to the eyes of the court and the judge saying he see you didn't have a job, and you right there, he is not going to put you back in jail.
No doubt.
He's going to look at it and say, even though you got picked up, you might have to pay the court cost of $280, but you ain't going to be in jail for 6 months, or 9, whatever. They're going to be like, well, you've been making payments. You didn't have a job, but you were making payments.
Right, no doubt.
Dudes, I talked to them doing that and said, they picked me up. Man, they let me right back out.
Absolutely.
They said, why? Because what you said, huh?
Absolutely.
They said I was making payments. They
Absolutely.
Said, you know, I was at least making payments.
How do you assess the situation and make the best possible move,
The
right?
judge let me out, huh? He said, thanks.
Right. No doubt.
You know what I'm
no
saying?
doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I don't care that you're down by 50. How do you start to chomp away at that lead? Right? You can.
Because technically, it ain't saying, because if you ain't paying nothing, regardless of the situation,
doubt.
They can't say you just a deadbeat dad.
I'm making something. I'm doing
and
something.
Just because that, I ain't gonna say nice name for the caseworker saying you have to pay this. That's what they say to intimidate that whole mentality.
No doubt.
To the 13th, all that.
Absolutely.
That's got to do with that.
No doubt. No doubt.
You know, they want you to make the wrong decision so they can get paid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now you got to think, fellas. So that's why it's so important that we literally give our children the minds that they need to have so that they can be successful. We want them to be confident. We want them to be good decision makers, right? So that they can be successful in life. If they make those good decisions in life, if they say, man, you know what? Hey, I see myself, my back's to the ropes, let me act like it. I don't want to act like my back ain't to the ropes when it is, you know. You know how many people act like they ain't where they at? Man, you are where you are. Boom. Accept it so you can get to where you need to be. Right? Ain't that what we got to do? It's like, man, you know what? Hold up, man. This is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I came home from the joint. I said, man, this is where I'm at. Man, I'm staying in a roach-infested apartment. This is where I'm at right now. And I embraced it, man. But I did 10. It's like, man, this is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I did that. You know, but it's just like, but that's what we want our children to have, the minds to be able to do what? Handle life in the right way. And the way that they're going to have the minds is not just going to develop on its own.
Yeah.
We got to intentionally develop it. And that's our responsibility. And that's what we should be doing when we are interacting with our children. So when we are saying, man, you know what? Hey, you want to go ahead and get those Skittles from the concession stand, daughter? Go ahead and get them sour Skittles. I know you ain't going to like them, but if that's what you want, I'm going to go ahead and buy them for you. And then when you taste them and you don't like them, then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to say you don't get no candy for the rest of the game, right? But you made the decision. So now you'll be charged with what? To make a different decision or to analyze how you made that decision. And say, hold up.
To your daughter,
Huh?
remember you told her that? My daughter just went through the same thing and the racist stuff. Remember I told her at school, so somebody said that and the girl was suspended because she's some type of bully, whatever. And my daughter home back got to fight, you know how that
Right,
goes.
right.
She's the only black kid in certain classes, so we talked to the principal. I think they expected me to come in there and be some big whatever.
Right.
I totally flipped it on him. Came in there intelligent on him, talked to him. I said, for right now, long story short, that's what I was talking to you about. And I was saying, just because you is comfortable for you as the principal, you as the counselor, and if I'm not comfortable as the parent, as the conscious, responsible parent, thinking modern day parent, and I use that vocabulary. What do you think my daughter and that girl is doing in that class right now? Because now we reflect on what happened last week. You think they're best friends? 9 out of 10, I know my daughter, she looking at her like trust is earned.
Right,
So
no
she called her
doubt.
a nigga last week or whatever and continue. She ain't gonna go there like, hey, everything is cool. She's not gonna do that.
Right,
So technically, the girl probably still where she at.
right,
So ain't nothing changed. But we, because you at school and you the teacher and you the counselor, you the principal, put too much on them to act a way that you already know they ain't gonna act.
no doubt.
So
Absolutely.
here we go as the modern day responsible, conscious teachers and parents. We let them down unless I talk to her mom, you talk to her, and we reflect on what really happened and find out what's really going on. I ask you, Mr. Principal, what is you? It's your job. I ain't saying you got to do your job, but if I was a principal, I would be going in there having them down here together. Because when I was a kid, you got in a fight, you came back to school. The first thing the old school principals did was bring y'all back in there in the
Right.
office together and reflected on and say what happened last week and made sure it wasn't gonna happen again.
Right, no
Not
doubt.
just send them back to class.
No doubt, no doubt.
It started out around my 6th,
I'm
7th
just
grade.
saying.
Send them back to class.
Yeah,
Like, it's,
They
yeah,
like they gonna quit and it's
right,
gonna
no doubt.
stop.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Absolutely.
She's and I said it's a bigger picture than what I'm saying. It might even be whatever, but remember, my daughter is the only black in that class.
I had the same thing happen to me too, man,
Right.
with my son. Yeah,
So-
same thing.
So I said I'll make it up as we go. So what we gonna do? That's when I said we're gonna have a meeting, council meeting next week.
Yeah.
You know where it's gonna be the 3rd. But I said we need to come together and do something that's responsible. Like I said, parents knocking down barriers or whatever. Because not only this is what I told him. I said I went in on it, bro. I said we got to think of the barriers as far as parents, let alone barriers as teachers, right? The barriers.
No
And
doubt.
We go.
You got to hit them with that language. Yeah.
The only blacks at the school. That's another barrier.
Right.
And as a conscious,
Right.
responsible, thinking parent, with all this information that I put on the table, what do you think we need to do?
Right.
I said,
No
I'm
doubt.
accountable for mine.
Right.
I'm ready. What y'all want to do? We can make this up as we go along. But at the same time, it's unacceptable for it to be as it is right now. Do you think it's okay? And the council was like, well, she said, no, I don't. I said, man, let's fix it.
Wow. That's
You know
how
what
it
I'm
works.
saying? So then I told her my sister's Bridget, I'm taking classes now, reading on everything that I'm going through. I'm trying to go in. So I said, what we gonna do? She said, well, listen, hey, I got about 6 counselors coming in this meeting we're gonna have next week. You know, or the week after that next week.
Right.
We gonna get her to go in.
That's good stuff, man.
You know. Because like I said, it's about my daughter.
No
making
doubt.
the right decision.
No doubt. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because you get tired of people making the right decision, and then other people help the person who just do the worst
Right.
with the negativeness and all that continue to be the same way.
Right.
Well, so another thing
Right.
that came to her, because
Uh-huh.
and my daughter was saying, which gives no matter what, there's too much going on in school, shouldn't be in school. And I don't even care about that. The issue is because they keep saying Trump supporter. Her mom was a Trump
Oh,
supporter.
yeah.
So and the kids is saying that. So you bringing a reflection of whatever's going on at home into school. Trump
Yeah,
supporter,
Trump
hate
supporter don't
whatever,
mean nothing.
daughter.
I can
That
support
gives
Trump.
my daughter even
Right,
more
right.
gas to be negative. Shit, Trump, she looked at me for a reaction, and she a Trump supporter too, Dad. Like, I had to be calm. Not give her no expression.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, and that's
I didn't
something-
want to give her fuel
Right. Absolutely.
to hate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
know
this
what
is
I mean?
something too that I've recognized, like, in society, and this is why I say, man, good decision maker, and I always, that's why I want my children to do what they believe to be right within inside of themselves, and not what other people want them to do, right? Because when you do what other people want you to do, then it's not going to be no good decision, right? Because usually they want you to do something that might benefit them in their mind, right? It's not going to be the best thing for you. So that's why I really want my children to be able to be confident and to be able to make good decisions doing things that's right within inside of them. That's all it's about, is what's right inside of them. You know, one thing that I realize is that a lot of times, man, people, they focus on everything else. It's like, man, why you focus on, I don't care what, I don't care who the KKK is. I don't care who is, I don't care about what they stand on, right? Because the only thing that I can focus on is what I stand on. And that's what I tell my children. Just focus on what you stand on. Just focus on what you believe in, right? You can't make nobody. I was hearing when the people was doing the votes, they trying to make people vote and everything else. It's like, man, people like, man, I ain't voting. Like, that's what people were saying. And people was trying to bully people into voting. And then you see people say, man, well, I'm voting for him and I'm voting for him. And people was trying to dictate, right, what other people was doing with themselves. And that's the worst place that you can be at, is when you're trying to dictate what somebody else is doing.
I ran into that with my roommate. You know, I'm up in there because of, and I'm like, you know, he's like, man, what you do? Vote for Trump? Well, yeah, I vote for Trump. I'm just being bullshit. It's like, doesn't really matter.
Right.
You know, you
Right.
bringing up the wrong points. But he's like, man, you see how you say about us, and you talking about us. I'm like, everybody talk about us. What that mean?
Right.
What you doing? What you trying to do to get on your feet? That's all I care about.
Right.
So-
Right. But it's just like giving people the room to be able to do what they do. You know, whatever. And that's what we should do with our children. I'm going to give you the ability to be an individual. But everybody wants people to be like robots. Everybody wants people to be like carbon copies, right? Instead of allowing people to, man, embrace their own individuality so we can be blessed as a society. When you can be who you were designed to be and you can express who you are, then that's when we are at our strongest. We are not at our strongest when you are saying what you think that I want you to say, when you are doing what you think that I want you to do. We are not at our strongest then. So I encourage my children, straight up, to be that type of character where you have the confidence to say, man, you know what? Hey, whatever, however you feel about it, this is who I am. This is what I stand on, right? And that's one thing that I always push, because sometimes that's what, especially, you know, that's what my children, they'll be focused on the wrong stuff. And I'm like, man, you got to focus on what it is that you got going on and who you becoming, right? But so often what you see in society, man, is people, that's why we got to make sure we prepare our children. Because if we don't, man, people will go ahead and guide them along to the place that they want them to be. Like, hey, this is where the whole masses is at. Hey, everybody stand up and cheer. Everybody sit down and cry. Everybody, you know, like, you feel how I want you to feel. You be happy when I want you to be happy. You be sad when I want you to be sad. And it's like everybody falls in a line. Right.
Tell me how you feel about this. Like, you know, we coming to work now, right? You coming to work or anywhere when they give you the, you know, take your temperature. Right? Well, I got kind of like, I told the dude, I said, man, put the temperature on my
right, on your wrist.
My wrist.
I'll do it on my wrist every time.
He'd be like, you know, because this guard or whatever, you know, at first I had to tell him, I said, it sound like you, because, and then you see it, and it's almost like they pointing a gun at your head.
No doubt, yeah. I don't put it on my wrist.
I was like, man, put it on my.
I put it on my wrist every time. I don't even let them get it to my head.
Well, that's
I put
what
it
I'm
on my
saying.
wrist. Right. Don't put it to my head. I've seen people, it's like, oh, yeah. One time somebody did that, and they just pulled it out quick. And I'm like, what the heck? I say, man, what the heck? You know, I say, man, brother, man, put that stuff on my wrist.
You been watching too much TV, and you got like.
Put it on my wrist, brother. Put that temp gauge on my wrist, man.
Blank is the reason why I feel like I'm trying to give them the best me I can give them and give them the best characteristics of me.
No doubt.
That they would love to develop for themselves and as they building themselves. Because within this society of now and what's coming next, I want them to make sure they can.
Got a restroom right there, bro.
No, the restroom is right around the corner. Yeah, Tone, because the only thing that's going to get them to be able to overcome this society is character. What type of character they got. Yep. If they got a shaky character, brother, they going to get it.
And that's mainly because of their mother, you know, and me. We was together for a long time, you know, but I don't even never want to say it, but I had to raise her. That's why I said I started it. When we talked, I realized, oh shoot, I gave her the wrong characteristics of myself from what I used to get from my mom. Which is why me and her kind of clashed, and we both were young kids.
Right, no doubt.
You know, we're kids, so
no doubt, absolutely, absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
Until now, as we turning 30, I was scared as hell turning 30, but now I'm like, oh my goodness, 30
right.
sounds great.
Right, absolutely.
I forget the 20s, that was awful.
No doubt,
years.
No doubt, man, no doubt,
so,
man.
That's why I'm in here, because I realized that from how I grew up, and then with her, and how she is, I definitely need to give them the best characteristics of myself, because I didn't have the best growing up, but I had characteristics that were good to mold off of.
Right.
You know, I bumped my head along the way, but from what I was given and what I chose not to do on my own, I was able to get myself to a good starting position.
No doubt, absolutely.
You know, every single time.
You can avoid you avoided some things that other people got tripped up on.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No doubt. No doubt.
So,
absolutely.
That's why, you know, I keep on emphasizing, you know, that I'd be so scared, but, you know, just trying to make sure I give them the best. That's why I'm identifying. Oh, okay, I see what went wrong.
That's what it is.
Okay, I see.
That's what it is.
That's
what it is.
Make things worse.
That's what it is.
Let me see.
Right.
What's better?
Right. So now it's just saying that what we doing is just being intentional about what we doing. So making sure that we giving them the space to be able to make decisions, allowing them the space to make errors in their life, you know, so that they can learn from them errors and then they can know how to start to make decisions in a different way. That's how we establish a good decision maker. Letting them become bad decision makers, you know, let them go ahead and jump off the ledge real quick, you know, so they can fill out a concrete field. You know, cool. Let them do that. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not going to take away their life, let them go ahead and jump off the ledge, you know, and see how the concrete feels. You know, just let them do it. Like, you let them know the information that they need to have, and then you put the decision on them to make. And you say, man, hey, if that's what you want to do, then I'm telling you, this is what you might want to think about. But if that's what you want to do, then it's on you. I'm giving you the ability to make that decision. I'm telling you, you might want to think about this, and that. As the parent, I'm going to give them the information. So you got the information. And if you say, man, okay, I'm going to still do this, it's like, you got to feel the consequence from that, right? So then that's what it is, man. You know, but that's what it is. We just give them the ability to make decisions so then they can make bad decisions early and then they can become better decision makers, right? Mm-hmm. They live and they learn. We want them to be self-regulated. That's the next goal. Regulate themselves, meaning understanding what needs to be done and getting that stuff done, right? That's a beautiful thing because when they do that, they're going to be in a successful place. Anybody who understands what needs to be done and get it done, they're going to be in a successful place. You know, so we want to encourage their behavior when we see them doing things that are self-regulating, right? Beautiful, right? The last one is bringing value back to the table, right? Making sure that they are individuals that bring value back to the table. That means that they are assets to the community. They are not liabilities. That means that they are adding value. That means that when they come to the table, they bring in something, right? That's how we want our children to be, that type of individual. That means that when they are asking to help, we want to encourage that behavior. We don't want to say, don't help me because it's going to take longer when you do help me. We want to go ahead and take that longer period of time to utilize their help so that they can see how it feels to help, right? So if my daughter's asking, can she help sweep and clean? Is that going to take longer? Heck yeah. Am I going to have to do over what she's done? Heck yeah. But I'm going to let her do it anyway because I want her to feel how it feels to help out. So she's always looking to do what? Help out. She's always looking to add to the situation. She's not coming to the situation and saying, what can you do? What do you got? Right? She's coming to the situation literally like, this is what I got to give. But the reason why she's doing that, Tone Dave, is because why? Because I've intentionally, man, interacted with her in a way to develop that character. You see what I'm saying? So when she's been asked and she's feeling all good about being able to mop and sweep, she done turned on her music and stuff. When she turned on the radio and she's sweeping and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, you're doing a good job. I'm encouraging the behavior. I'm telling her, like, man, I appreciate you taking the time out and helping Dad, right? So now she's feeling all good in her side of herself. So guess what she's going to do? Oh, my gosh, I kid y'all not. She tries to run and beat Deshaun to my son to get the stuff before he gets it. Like, I'm getting it for Dad, right? So both of them, they be like, man, hey, and I'll be telling him, like, man, just let her get it because she's 5, you 12, and she's going to be crying if you don't let her get it to me, right? So I'll be like, man, even if you get it, give it to her so she can give it to me. I kid you not, man.
That's why it's good that he don't want to. We're like,
right.
Because he want to be.
He be on it too. He be like, man, I'm going to get it for Dad. Right? Because he's my teammate too. So he's like, the characters in both of them is crazy.
With my kids, I took them out bowling, all of them. And I helped the little ones win. You know, I barely was doing anything.
Right.
You know. But me and my youngest son, we ended up winning. My oldest daughter, she was winning. She was kicking them. She was beating them. She was doing pretty good. You know, I ain't helped the oldest 3. I only helped the 2 youngest, you know.
Tell me he ain't got that confidence like he working help.
That brother looks serious.
I helped him at first. Oh, yeah, he ready. Yeah, he ready.
He got a little John Deere tractor. He out
Right. That brother ready to get it in, man.
Yep. And I had showed them what to do and how to do it, and then they instantly was like, nah, let me do it on my own. Oh, go ahead. I'm glad.
Right.
Let me see how you gonna do it, you know? Because really, I love to see how you want to just go do on your own.
This is beautiful, man. That's it, man.
But she ended up getting beat, and she was mad. And I'm like, all right, we're gonna play another. You know, spend some more money. We played another game of bowling. And then I helped my youngest daughter win. But it was because I was ready to go, so I'm just throwing down the pins like, all right, let's go. You know, I'm just knocking them all down. All right, she got the most. My bad. She was mad again. And she was like,
Was this at Park Avenue?
Yeah, no, not Park Avenue. I had to go to Lexington.
Lexington, okay.
Man, and she was upset. And I'm like, it's all right. We're going to go do it next time. She was like, but you helped them win. I know I did. I'm sorry. But you want beating your brothers, though.
Right. Absolutely, man. Like, that's a beautiful thing, man. And I just look and I just say, and that's what makes you feel more and more confident as a parent, man, is when you saying, man, you know what? I'm serving the relationship between me and my children with my mind. I'm not serving it with just my emotions. I'm serving it with my mind. Not the way that I feel. It's the way that I'm thinking that's serving the relationship between me and my children. And that's why I'm confident that they gonna have what they need to have because I'm bringing my mind to the table. When you bring your greatest resource to the table, brothers, I'm telling you, that's how you get stuff done.
I think
it's your mind is your greatest resource.
Because homeboy Johnny, he only said it. He had watched the kids for me while I went to the store. He was like, when I came back, he was like, man, them kids gonna be fine without you. I said, oh. No, you know, not in that way.
That's dope. Because you done gave them what they need to be fine.
I didn't think I did. I was just...
That's crazy.
You know,
that's crazy, man. And that's what I'm saying. So, Tone, Dave, this is what I'm saying, man. Brothers have already been doing it anyway. What do you think is going to happen when that knowledge starts to become specialized? Because when we in here doing this right here, the knowledge that y'all already got is becoming specialized now. Now you like, I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and what it's about to do. You ain't just doing it, right? Like you've been doing it. You've been able to do an effective job just by doing what you think is going to happen. When you get that specialized knowledge and now you like focus on exactly what it is that you've been doing now, and now you can do it even more. And saying, man, I know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and which direction I'm going, where I'm taking them to. I'm making sure I'm instilling this into them. This is why I'm encouraging the behavior. So I intentionally encourage behavior when I see them exhibiting the behavior that I want them to see. So when my daughter is saying, I want to help, I'm intentionally allowing her to help. I'm intentionally encouraging the behavior, telling her exactly how it's benefiting me at that time. Right? I'm not just saying, hey, good girl, thanks, or just taking what she's giving me. I'm being intentional with her, and I'm saying, man, hey, I appreciate you, daughter. Like, you made the day a little bit better, man, and you made my situation a little bit easier by you taking care of sweeping the floor. Now dad ain't got to wash the dishes and sweep the floor. So now now we can go ahead and get into bed and eat grapes a little bit quicker now. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff is good, and that's the encouragement. And what that does, it locks it in, so now they know what exactly is that they did, and they're going to look for other ways to do it, right? And not only that, but how do you think that they're going to feel in regard to you? Positive. And this is the positive relationship, because they like, dad catches me when I'm doing right. Dad sees the right in me. And because dad sees the right in me, I want to be around dad. Matter of fact, I want to get what information dad has for me. Because dad sees the right in me, that means dad got information that fits me. Dad relates to me. Right? So then that's the 4 goals. And the 5th goal is what? Do your best. That's the 5th goal. And my daughter, she just called me earlier today, and she was on the video. She was coloring with Inside the Lines. And I say, she's 5 years old. And I say, man, look at that, man. I say, man, you doing your best, man. I could tell she's doing her best. She's doing the best that she can possibly do. Why? Because she's making sure that she's staying inside of the lines. She's being very careful about being inside of the lines. What character trait am I trying to instill inside of my child? I want them to have the character to do your best. That means whatever you do, I want you to do your best. So she knows the mind that she has right then when she is coloring, right? She's saying, she's thinking a certain way when she's doing that. Something is causing her to color inside of the lines real careful like that, right? I want to let her know what it is. I say, you are doing your best because you want that picture to look its best, right? Boom! So now when I say that, she says, yeah, Dad, I'm doing your best. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Absolutely right. So now what is she going to do when she goes into the next thing? I'm going to do my best. And if she does her best in everything that she does, is she going to be successful in life? If she just does her best, not doing more than her best, not allowing less than her best, but
even if you ain't as good as somebody, but
you did your best. And that gives you confidence when you know that you did your best. The reason why people be lacking the confidence is because they know that they truly haven't done their best. Yeah. That strips away your self-worth. When you know that you haven't done your best, it strips away your self-worth. You start to, it deteriorates. When you say to them, you know what, hold up, I know I ain't did my best. And it adds up. And then you'll cut a corner here, and then you'll cut a corner there, and then you'll cut another corner there, and then next thing you know, you're not feeling too hot about yourself. Right. So when you do your best, guess what it does? It adds to your confidence.
When it's parenting, it ain't no me like what you're saying, everything I did. And I'm going to use my analogy. What you said exactly, knowing what you're doing.
No doubt. Specialized knowledge, brother.
Specialized, you would have people in the past, like you can get a dancer. Because I'm starting to get back in shape because I was in martial arts for years and stuff. So you get a teacher who was good at, say, just dancing, a dancer, ballet. And they could take a Tai Chi tape and do Tai Chi because they got the physicality, their muscles are trained, whatever. Right. But they ain't never did Tai Chi. Mm-hmm. A real practitioner would know because it's imitated, because it's all about push and pull. But there's an essence to the movement. You know what I'm saying? The essence to the movement. You just moving, but you don't know the essence of the movement. You don't know the intention of the movement.
So you relate that to the parenting, right? Right. No doubt. No doubt. It makes a lot of sense.
Right there.
It makes a lot of sense.
That's what I'm saying. I take that to the parenting.
That's it.
And I'm like this. What you saying is, I've been doing certain things, and you just remind me of when I talk and read. I've been doing stuff, and now it's breaking down that essence of intentional push or pull.
That's what turns you into the champion, right? When you can, that's what turns you into a black belt, right? Once you start to get that, once you start to understand like what it is that you're doing, so naturally you can come with different stuff from what you've been able to see from other people and other karate people or whatever. But then once you start to get into that training, it goes to another level. It goes to another level, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's what it is. It's taking our parenting to another level. The training takes our parenting to another level. So we just ain't just like natural with it. We train. It's a difference.
And what you say about
that stuff is dope,
like
man.
How would I say the couples counseling?
Yeah.
The essence of the couple counseling. All of us under the same umbrella. It's finding the right vocabulary.
No doubt.
You get
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
A lot of what I do in here, all of it rub elbows.
No doubt.
All of it, because when you said something, what did you say earlier? About the, what did you say? Friday night.
Right.
What was it? Watch movie night.
Oh, yeah. Movie night on Thursday.
Watching movie night, something else. It's the same thing with parenting and it all related to what I'm saying. It's like, but intentional and knowing.
No doubt.
I'm going to do that, intentional.
Right, intentionally, absolutely.
I like that way you said intentional.
Yeah, intentionally.
I've been doing it, but I'm more intentional.
Right.
I've been doing it.
Right. I've been doing it, and I do it here. I might do it back to back, but no, now I'm going to do it once a week.
My ego can tell me.
Right, no doubt.
Throw the ego out the door.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to be intentional. Right. Now instead of just doing it sporadically, right, I'm going to do it intentionally once a week, right? Instead of just doing it here and there and maybe doing it over there, no, I'm going to make sure that I'm consistent, right? That's it. Because nothing says a strong relationship, nothing builds a strong relationship like consistency.
And that was like what my sister, I'm trying to get to her is, what we doing, and it's up to me to teach my daughter exactly what I'm talking about, because it ain't about just what she needs to learn with communication. It's the listening.
Right.
It's okay to say, God, let you voice, but now you need to learn to listen.
No doubt.
And then I asked her the question, are you really listening?
No doubt.
Right back, are you listening? That's a skill in itself.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
So we're getting there.
There it is. And that's what it's all about. So when we talking about listening, Dave, that's the next layer that we talked about last week was the listening piece, right? How important is that into establishing a strong, positive relationship? Because nothing says that we are there for a person more than just to what? Listen. Because when we listen, then that's letting that other individual know that we are trying to get an understanding about them and what they got going on, right? That shows you that I care when I listen, right? And that's difficult in these days and times with the human being, period, right? Don't nobody want to listen to nobody, right? That's why the problems are what they are in the world. It's because people ain't listening to each other, right? If people would listen to each other, then it wouldn't be as much problems. Tone, we talking about the listening piece now, the next layer that we was peeling back. Yeah. So if people would listen to each other, then guess what? It wouldn't be the problems. But that's why we want to intentionally listen to our children. No matter how old they are, no matter what they talking about, we want to give them that time to listen. Because when we listen, guess what? They're going to start to develop a certain level of confidence in us in regard to them. And that's why we want to be intentional about listening. We doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Thing I just ran into with my mom. I had to sit her down because yesterday I ended up getting flat because I went to go get my kids. I was supposed to chill there with them, but I ended up just dropping them off and heading on out. So I had to go do something. And as I'm leaving, I get a flat. I knew I had to get that tire change.
Yeah.
I know I was going to get that.
No doubt.
And then finally just did it because I was thinking about taking them with me when I went somewhere. I'm glad I just went ahead because she wanted me to chill there at her house with them. But yeah, and then just the other stuff right there. We ain't going to talk about that. But as I'm leaving, I got a flat, so I'm calling trying to figure out what to do. And I knew what to do. It's just like, I hit up with one friend, hey, send me a couple dollars. Cause yeah, a couple dollars for me right now. And then I'm like, got that little old school crank one on the handle because I ain't got my one I have bought that's the easy jack up, things quickly done. Got my cross thing, all that gone. Left it with her, left everything. Gotta restart them. But I'm just sitting there like, ooh, okay, now I remember why I bought all that stuff. You know? But as I'm sitting there and changing the tire, stuff like that, I'm getting off track. But I end up talking to my mom, you know, just to get an understanding. Basically, you know, because I told her I was going to step away from the kids for like 2 months to get myself together so I can be the best there for them.
Right.
And be in a better house or apartment. Because
Right.
my cousin just got out. It's like 3 of us in there. He got kids. I got kids. Our other cousin got kids. And it's just a hostile situation for me.
Right.
I stay
No
in
doubt.
my room.
Right.
I don't even go out the rest of the house.
Right.
Because I ain't
Right.
got time for all that.
Right.
I go to work, I come home, I ain't trying to listen to all that. I got
No
schoolwork
doubt.
I got to do. I'm not trying to listen to all that stuff.
Right.
So,
Right.
but she did have to put it in her the best way. Like, no, don't step away how you think. I'm like, well, what you know? And I had to sit back, you know, because all that stuff is just too much. Then I had to realize, like, yeah, you're right. I do still need to come and help and do what I can. It's just I used to get them every weekend.
Right.
Each time, so I do what I can. But now I'm like, all right, you're right. Let me just go throughout the week since I ain't working at 4 or 5 days.
Yes.
Plus the 5 days for my first job.
Yes.
And then I'm spending the whole weekend with them, trying to do the best I can with them on the weekend.
Right.
I actually can level that stuff out now.
Yep.
Throughout
Yep.
the week, get them from school,
Yep.
take them here and there.
Yep.
You know, but I just had to have that talk with her. You
Right.
know, you know, because it's like, you know, I don't never had no talk with you about that. You always gave me go figure it out.
Right.
So, you know, like you said, autopilot.
Yep.
Just go and go figure it out.
Right, right.
Not even intentionally knowing what I'm
Right.
doing, if it's right or wrong. I'm
Right.
hoping it's
Just
come with a
autopilot.
good
Right.
perception.
No doubt.
And so,
Wow.
But you know what, bro? Because he shared it with me too. And I'm glad he said it because so you can reflect on this too. Because the only thing I can say was that you just gave me the right vocabulary again. Because it said it was you doing the right thing. But I said if you can't do nothing else, I said I'm not knocking. You got to do your best, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in his mind, that's why I said do your best. But the other thing I was saying was like, but I didn't have that correct word to say to you was just be intentional. If I said if you say 2 months, great. I'm saying like I can't knock what you gotta do, but just be intentional. If you gotta go get a hotel room for that one day and play the game or something with your kids, whatever, just be intentional like that. If you need a place of privacy, just be intentional,
Right.
like you said. That's the word I need
Right.
to hear,
Right.
Because he's doing it.
No doubt. There it
And
is.
just being
Yep.
intentional.
Absolutely.
that's when I
Yep.
realized.
You know what I mean? Because he's
them
doing
up
it.
in
Just being
school.
intentional.
Yep.
You know, spend a couple hours if it's okay, because they still got schoolwork to do.
No
Still
doubt.
got they
No
stuff
doubt.
She got going on there. I ain't trying to mess that up.
Right.
'Cause I ain't into my place I want to be and
Absolutely.
take on my roles on
Right.
how I would like to help them. So we're going off of what you're doing. I ain't
Absolutely.
Gonna knock that off of what you're doing. What you're doing. I just get in when I fit in, which I understand now. What my mom was talking about.
Right.
Being in the right spot. So wherever she got doing, just help out.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I realized I can do, you know, some hours, you know, as they get out of school, help them with that, and I can do my Sundays when I can go
Right.
to church and we get out of church, I can cook them some food and that.
Absolutely.
But I still got schoolwork I got to put
Absolutely.
in. I still got to work these 2 jobs. I still got stuff I got to do.
So you got to balance it.
Yeah.
You got to balance it.
And I've been out of balance, and that's what I was saying with
Yep.
the tire. It was so out of balance and wobbly for
Yeah.
the last 3 weeks.
No doubt.
Now it just popped, just
Yeah.
like how I just popped and realized, yeah, what I was doing wasn't right.
No doubt. Absolutely. That's heavy duty, man.
Yeah.
Identify and then make adjustments, man.
Yeah.
But that's something like being intentional with it. You can say, you know what, when I am with them, and that's the thing about it, man, we ain't got to go to no hotel room. We ain't got to do none of that stuff. If I'm just in front of you and allowing you to speak, and I'm here listening to you as your father, that's powerful enough, because that connects the hearts. We underestimate how important listening is, man. Just being there and allowing them to talk what's going on with them in their life.
And I put that 2 and 2 together because I gave my friend everything y'all had me yesterday. It was a whole lot of lessons yesterday. Gave my friend, you know, Josh will be over there with your crib. I went to go get him. And as I got him, you know, I'm driving, and I'm just talking to him. And I hear him just saying, yeah, no. I'm like, oh, okay. You're not used to people just talking to you, asking about yourself. You know, and then I started just thinking with the kids.
White
like,
Josh?
okay. No. Big Josh, little boy. Sherry, son.
Oh, Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I'm talking to him. I just started, you know, just thinking like, yeah, it would be cool just picking them up from school and having that conversation.
Yeah,
That's
no
what
doubt.
to the,
No doubt.
I know I still got stuff to do.
That's good stuff.
You know, and
That's
I
good
just
stuff.
put two and two together.
That's that payment, man. That's that payment. Listen, man, ain't nothing free.
Yeah.
Nothing free. If you want your children to be successful, you got to pay. Ain't nothing free. And what you paying mostly is your time. That's what you got to bring to the table. You're going to have to pay for your children's success. That's crazy. You have to pay for the relationships that you want. Ain't nothing free. And you pay with sacrifice. That's what you pay with. It's sacrifice. So when you say, man, I got to go to school, I got to do that, I still got to, man, you know, I got to go to work, you know, man, I'm going to go ahead and pick them up and intentionally listen to what they have to say. I'm going to give them that time. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. I'm going to give them the best 15 minutes of me that I got, right? I'm going to give them everything that I got right now. I'm going to go above, beyond. I mean, you could take the low road and be like, I'm just going to go ahead and just, you know,
that's what I was ready
go
to
off into the sunset. Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's the low road of least resistance, right? Like, you know, but you got to be mindful of the roads with least resistance, right? Because they're not going to give you your greatest return, right? the roads, it seems like it's the easiest to do, right? You want to be like, hold up, man, why is it so easy, right? And them is the ones you want to question. I kid you not. Like, this is the ones you want to question. So then, but that's the move, though, Tone. It's like, that's powerful. And I'm telling you, the relationship will benefit from that. Instead of, man, a period of time where they don't see where you at, because then they can start to establish in their heads that you get missing for periods of time. Right? You know what I'm saying? They can start to establish and be like, man, you know what? They look up and, hey, Dad ain't nowhere around for this whole period of time. You know, is that coming back again? And we don't know what that will do inside of them. But we got to think about if we had parents when we were younger and they were gone for a period of time. Yeah. How did we feel when they were gone for a period of time?
And is their mama being healthy with the relationship, or is they throwing gas on the situation?
And that's so.
I've seen people in a position now that can talk about it. Let's say celebrities, right? You see them on podcasts like, man, I was a mama's boy, and we get past it, right? You know, he said, man, I didn't realize that I said a lot of bad things about my dad that I know now as a man. He just did the best that he could do. But because I didn't see, quote unquote, my mama injected my mind with a whole bunch of untruth.
I'm telling you, I've seen that.
And because I didn't get what I wanted.
I've seen that, right. I've seen that.
You know, and he said, now I'm older, and I'm not saying he did everything perfect, but I said if I'd have known what I knew now, we wouldn't have went through some of the things.
But I had to connect the same 2 and 2, because I was really about to sit there and ask her, man, how did that go with you and my dad? Because, you know, I ain't grew up with him. He was away. And, you know, every single time I see him, he'd be distant.
Especially being a father now, right?
Being in my position on how that went, I understood.
Right.
She got mad at me when I told her I understood. She's like, no, he's been you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, that's your
right.
That's your shit.
Right.
I understand now what he felt. And
Well,
I'm not mad at him. He should have did what he did, but I can't be mad at him.
Right. And I think
don't do it.
that's good stuff, Tom. That's good stuff, because I think that now where we at with it is starting to look at it instead of just saying, because I think that usually what happens is that they just put it on one person, but I think that this is a two-person's game.
Yeah,
so he didn't have to stay away. He could have did whatever he needed to do to fight against whatever was being put up against him, but guess what? She didn't have to put the stuff up against him to have him to fight, to make him feel discouraged, right? Like, so it's a two-people game. So is two people at fault? Heck yeah. Like, so when it's a parent that's gone, we still need to pretty much look at both parents, right? But so often people be trying to put it on just the other person, right? Like, hey, the reason why he gone is because he gone, right? It's like, no, even if it's like the reason why y'all got together, you know, sometimes people get together under different you know, and it's like, and that never comes out, right? And then when you see one that's gone, it's like, and one stays, and then you like, man, so the best thing that we can ever do is just say, man, I don't know the whole story. I don't know the whole story to be able to have an accurate opinion because I don't have all of the information, which we don't, right? Only thing that we got is the information coming from one side. Yep. And the person who's telling you is the person, they're going to tell you everything that you want to hear. Mm-hmm. Everything that they want that's going to put them in a good light. Yeah. They're not going to put them in no bad light. No. Right? They're not going to sit up there and say, man, you know what? Hey, man, I was trying to really, man, I was pressing this brother like crazy. You know, I broke this brother down. That brother, every time he came, I took his feet from underneath him. Man, I made it so hard on this brother, man. That brother ain't have a chance, right? And he finally gave up. I told him, you better walk it off, brother.
That's like, what I had to tell her, though, because I actually did have a heart-to-heart to her. And I was like, man, I got tired of her with this rah-rah-rahness, just like how you was. Which is annoying, but I realized I just got to let that go.
Right.
Hey. It don't mean nothing, but that rah-rah-rahness, I understood why my dad said it.
And that's what it's all about. And I think that so often, Tone Dave, is that people feel like that when we say we understand it, we condone it. No, we're not saying that it's okay. We just saying we understand. I understand, you know, how you can feel discouraged. I understand how you might say, man, I don't know what the heck else to do, you know, so just forget it, you know? Like, everybody don't know about courts and all of that stuff. People don't know about that stuff. So people would just be like, man, forget it. I was talking to my little cousin. I say, man, listen, man, I know what was happening back then. I know what happened, you know, between your dad and my aunt. I know what was happening, right? I seen the pressure that was being applied, man. You know, I seen it firsthand. You know, I got cracked in the head with bottles and everything. And it's like, I was like, so I know. You know, you don't know, but you like, man, I don't got no dad, man. Forget him. He ain't. And it's like, man, he trying to make an attempt to be in your life now that you an adult, man. Give him a shot, you know? And like, man, he wasn't there. And I'm like, man, you don't know the situation, right? And it's crazy, man, because I'm in a situation to be able to give that information because only information that she had gotten was information from one side. But I'm able to be like, and I'm not taking nobody's side, right? I'm not taking no side.
Be on the outside.
I'm just, man, saying what was right and just giving the information and saying, man, hey, man, everybody ain't strong enough to, you know, everybody don't know how to figure that out, but don't just put it on one person, you know, have an understanding.
My son is 28. Dad, right, you know, that's my son, for real. We know how you gotta go, whatever, you know, we go there. But he went to prison for 17 years for murder. So it's like he had no relationship with his dad, right? You know, so when he come home, you know, obviously he wanna make some type of connection, grandkids, whatever. And man, my son put him through it. Right? And I had to tell him from the father's point of view, listen, man, you know, had he been out of prison, you know, he would have been attempted to be there because no matter what, your dad, you know, you hear your dad as I know, you know, you hear a story. When I was in prison, I heard stories about dudes that I knew him. This dude ain't no joke. He a gangster. And I said, and for the way you talk to this man, long story short, you don't need to be doing that. Because if I was him, just because you was my son, I would have took a lot not to, but he being very humble, dude. You like talking to him in a way like it was his fault. We make bad decisions. He made a bad decision, killed this dude, did 17 years for it. But in between that, he paid child support. He did all that. He worked in the union. He had a job. He wasn't just no trap dude.
Right.
He just was a serious dude and made a bad decision.
No doubt.
So no doubt. You know what I'm saying?
That's heavy.
That's it. Don't scrutinize this man.
That's the same thing. I had to
being
right.
Because he's doing for his grandkids and all this. You know, is it? Tell me, man.
Brothers, this is it.
This is going down.
I had to pinpoint because, you know, why I say I'll step back and change it up. Because I seen the route my dad went, and it was easy to go that route. Makes everything simpler.
Right. That's crazy. But you said you seen the route your dad went. You was like, man, that stuff was simple than the money. That stuff was simple,
peaceful,
right?
Because I seen
it's peaceful.
How she treated me, my big mom, and how my mom. I know how you are.
Right.
Y'all making mirror images right now.
Right.
So-
That's crazy. Now, you say you looked at your child's mother, you looked at your mom, and you say, hold up,
Yeah.
y'all like similar to the mom. Right?
When y'all mad.
Like when y'all get mad, y'all like similar.
Yeah.
Right?
Y'all
Y'all
rah. And I was like, okay, no, I understand that. You know?
like you know, like you said.
You made it worse. I was making it worse. I
Right.
had to sit back and say, no, I'm making things worse.
Right.
You know, I'm the one making it worse.
Right.
It ain't no matter what she's doing. I'm the one doing the work.
Right.
I can do better. With me being there and the mind frame I got, and I know what I can have, it's better if I do just go through the little trials, the throwing a bucket of water on my head. Yep, it's cool.
No doubt.
Kids still, y'all good? All right, let's go have some fun. Let's go do what we need to do.
That's heavy duty,
I can
man.
dry that off later.
And that's the, I'm telling you, like, fellas, that's the payment, man. That's the payment, man. And that's what's going to be able to continue to elevate us into a level that we need to be. Because remember, man, we can never become who we need to be without our children. And that's what's crazy. The same way that we got something to deliver to our children and help our children develop, our children got something to deliver to us and help us develop. And that's why they've been assigned to us, right? It's the reason they've been assigned to us, brothers, right? So we'll never be who we were destined to be without utilizing our children. Our children are here to make us better individuals. They are here to help us evolve. Just like we are there to help them evolve, it's a reciprocity going on here, right? It's reciprocal, right? That means just like we are here to help them evolve, they are here to help us evolve, right? So when we go ahead and turn our backs on our children, we are actually turning our backs on ourselves. And your father, he can never be the person that he needed to be because he turned his back on you. Until he gets back with you and connect, make that connection, he's never going to be able to live the life that he was destined to be because he's missing a part of him that was assigned to him, right? Everybody don't have children.
Yeah, I
right? Everybody don't have children. There's people who cannot have children. Literally, they'll try, they'll do everything under the stars, under the moon to have a child, but they can't, right? Everybody doesn't have children. So the people who do have children, it's a reason. You didn't just have these children for no reason, right?
Do you understand?
It's a purpose.
You don't understand your purpose.
It's a purpose. So now when we're looking at our children, it's no more saying, man, hey, I got to go see my children. It's more of, I need to go see my children. I need to be around my children because when I'm around my children, I can become the individual that ultimately that I was destined to be. And then I can help them become the individuals that they were destined to be. They'll go on about their ways, I'll go on about my way, and we'll be who we needed to be on this earth. That's crazy when you look at it like that. And when you look at it like that, I think that can maybe prevent people for being so willing to just walk away.
I almost did that when I said my youngest mad at her. I could have went to Vegas. I got my boys down there, got his own business. Imagine, man, come out here, man. I got 2-3 houses. Just come out here. Ain't working. And no, I could have got the bag or just started working with him, man. You can do whatever you want, man. You just leave that alone, come out here. I almost did, but just looking at my youngest son and my one son, he got into the 9th grade. I seen him having troubles, and I was
right.
Like, I can't do this, man.
No doubt.
Not my 2 sons.
It'll take something from you, man. It'll take something from you. I just can't.
I couldn't do it.
You can't help it, man. You can't. I mean, it just is what it is.
Man.
Right.
I swallowed my pride.
No doubt. Yep.
And so, like I said, I had lost a lot of stuff. And from I had built up with riding lawnmowers and all. I lost all that. So that one summer, with all the customers that I had built up, with a ride lawnmower and all that, the next summer I had to walk to these places. My sister stayed in Ontario, and I had to walk in Mansfield. Real long story short, I had that app on your phone when you walk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't realize I didn't see. I forgot it was on there because I told you on computer done, right?
Yeah.
So this stuff popped up, and I was like, 120. What's this? I didn't realize I was walking 120, 140 miles a week.
Wow.
Because you walk in the yard.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not how many steps you taking.
Right.
Take an acre here and there.
Right.
I didn't realize that. And then I went,
That's
he's
crazy.
taking my sister stay at. My yard was one of my sister's lawnmower. I didn't stop. My sister's lawnmower, my lawnmower and my weed eater was at my sister's. I walked from my sister's out here by the Y out here. I had 3 yards up here.
Wow.
And I would start over here and I'll continue to walk. Walk through the whole neighborhood from the south side to the east side over to the south. I would start at 7:30 in the morning. I wouldn't come home till like 7:30 at night.
Wow.
From walking. So,
and
this kept me sane too,
No
from
doubt.
going off on somebody.
No doubt.
If I wouldn't have had that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. No
It was
doubt.
that
man.
meeting in church.
Right.
I really needed to get in church.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Give me some extra.
Heck yeah.
Because, yeah.
That's heavy duty.
So walk in my shoes. That's what I tell my son.
Yeah.
And then he came. That's when he started. I said that story when I said my son came with me. He said, "Let me take you here where I'm walking. I'm cutting yards of dudes I used to put on
Right.
a few years ago.
No doubt.
Now how you think how that's humbling me?
No doubt.
Making $20 off this dude.
Right, no doubt. No doubt. Absolutely. That's no joke, man. That's a beautiful thing, though, to be able to be humble like that, man. Because that's what it is. That's what it checks. It checks us, man.
And they did. I
It
put all the
checks
egos
us.
aside, and they all watched me do it. The
It
whole
checks
neighborhood
us.
like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
That takes an extreme amount of strength, man. You know, straight up.
Now I get a lot. Now I got 3-0 turns now. Trailer.
Yep. Heck yeah.
So
yep.
you know,
That's what my brother, he be doing that stuff, man. He be on that stuff. He be zero turning it out,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's what he be on, man. But that's a beautiful business, man. You know, but this is good because we segueing right into this chapter, this next layer that we peeling back for establishing a strong relationship with our children. This layer right here is none other than what? Forgiveness, right? So this forgiveness piece is heavy because it prevents us from being able to establish strong relationships in life. Our inability to forgive. So then that's why we want to have that forgiving type of spirit for us to be able to establish the strong relationships, right? Right? So when we think about forgiveness, what does forgiveness look like, right? We got to think about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not condoning the behavior. Sometimes people think that forgiveness is condoning the behavior. It's not that, right? It's not, man, it's not saying that you don't care about how it made you feel. You know, it's acknowledging the feeling that you felt. If somebody done you wrong, it's like, man, that stuff hurt, and letting that person know that. You know, so forgiveness is detaching from that situation. That moment, right? Not trying to figure out a way to retaliate or holding a grudge, right? That stuff can burn you up. When you're thinking about ways to retaliate or get somebody back, that stuff is going to burn you up, and it's going to put you in a bad place in life, right? When you feeling like, man, I'm trying to get them back, you know. So then that's why we want to definitely have that forgiveness piece in our under our belt.
I actually read something on Facebook which was funny. It said, "Go ahead and just forgive them. They already beat themselves. They already beating themselves.
Right.
Even though they think they got over you.
Right.
So that's when I started to realize, like, I'm forgiving a lot of stuff and just letting it all go. Because I realized, my kids definitely gonna need me.
No doubt. Because you got to think about it too. Don't even take it personal, man. Whatever somebody's done to you, they wasn't doing it actually to you. They was doing it because of them. You know, that's why they did it. So don't even take it personally. See, a lot of times where we falter at is that we take this stuff personal. Like somebody cuss you out, somebody steals from you or whatever. Somebody stabbed you in the back. That says a lot about them. It's not saying it about you, right? So don't take it personally. At the end of the day, you just got to understand that, you know what, I see where you at and I can't be around you like that because I'm not going to condone the behavior, but I'm also not about to sacrifice my health and sacrifice my mind, right? If you ain't in the version that I need you to be in, then guess what? I have the right to give you space. Forgiveness is not saying, man, I got to be around you. Forgiveness is saying, man, I don't have no ill feelings toward you. That means that when your name come up, I don't have no negative feelings that come up inside of me. You know that you haven't forgiven somebody when somebody says their name, and then you have some negative feelings that come up inside you, right? It produces some type of feeling inside of you. Or if something bad happens to you, it produces some type of happy feeling. If something bad happens to them, it produces some happy feeling inside of you, right? You know that you haven't forgiven them because now you are actually hoping that something happens to them. And anytime that you are there, you are not in the right place. Right? That's giving somebody too much control. When we don't forgive, that's giving somebody too much control. That means you are allowing them to rent space in your head for free. They've done something to you in the past, and now they're doing something to you right now.
In the mental.
In the mental, right? So you can be kicking it on a carnival cruise, doing your thing, and because you haven't forgiven that person over there and they see you and you see them, you're going to automatically shift in the way that you are feeling. You are no longer kicking it. You was on vacation, but now you are upset because you just seen somebody that you haven't forgiven. And now you are burning up. You fist balled and you like, man, forget this stuff. You can't even enjoy your vacation because of what that person did to you back in the past. And that person might not even care what they did. Or they might have already forgiven themselves and they have moved on. And you are still stuck on what they did. That's why we got to make sure that we have this forgiveness piece, and especially being a father and being a parent, we got to make sure that we have that ability to be able to forgive. So we look at 3 different prongs to forgiveness. Asking for forgiveness, right? Forgiveness of self, and then forgiveness of others. As a parent, we want to be able to ask for forgiveness. What does that look like? What do we got to do to ask our children for forgiveness?
Be more consistent.
No, I mean, what does it take for us to ask our children for forgiveness first? The first thing,
Humble yourself.
no, you got to humble. What do we got to see? We got to
see what you did wrong.
Right, we got to recognize our wrong, right? Once we recognize our wrong, then we got to be courageous enough to admit our wrong. And so often, man, as parents, we kind of like not admit it, right? You know, because it's almost as if, man, you are my child. Why do I have to tell you that I was wrong? I was wrong, right? You know, we might even interact with them in a way. I mean, sometimes what happens is that instead of asking for forgiveness and saying that I apologize, I'm sorry, forgive me, we might just go ahead and act overly nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like instead of just like really admitting it and saying I apologize, instead of saying I apologize, what we do as parents, as adults, is we just act nice and we just say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and take you out. Come on, let's go get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you done messed up, but you don't really want to say it, but you just want to do something to just, you know, to try to make up for it. But what we want to do is that we want to feel sorry, right? Feeling sorry, and then we want to follow it up with asking for forgiveness. Not only do we feel we're sorry, but then we follow it up and then we ask for that forgiveness to our children. Because now that lets them know that we really do see it, and not only that, but we are working on it. The more that we apologize for things, what I've realized is that the more we are not going to allow them things to continue to surface. If we truly feel sorry, and then when you work up the courage to say you're sorry about it, you're going to be trying your best not to do that same thing again. And that gives the confidence to that child and the confidence in you when you do that. And it also gives them the respect when you say, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. So now they will know what to do when they are wrong. Because one thing that we know is that pencils come with erasers for a reason, right? Because we're going to make mistakes. So we know that our children are going to make mistakes when they are adults, when they are children. So we want them to be okay when they make those mistakes. And we want to give them the know-how on what to do when they make those mistakes. When you make an error, you go ahead and admit to it, right? Just like Dad has admitted to it. I'm sorry. Right? This is what you do. You don't just act like you didn't make the error and just brush over it, right? Because when you do that, then that error is liable to surface in the future. So you want to give it some attention. And that's what we want to teach our children when we do that. When we say, I'm sorry, we are showing our children how to say that they are sorry and not to always be right. Have you been around people who just want to be right, and they are not willing to accept their wrongs, so then that's why they can never get right?
I grew up with that, and it was in me for a while.
Right.
I realized, I don't be right all the time.
That's crazy. Because that stuff will take away from the quality of your life. Yeah. Because you are walking around with errors that you should have been got rid of, but you haven't gotten rid of them because you haven't admit to those as being errors. Because you feel like that failure is a problem, but failure is the tuition to success. The only way that we can become successful is if we fail. But we have been conditioned as failures being something nasty, something to stay away from. But that's what we need to be able to get to who we need to become. But so often, we trying to be like, no, I ain't do wrong, right? Instead of saying, man, hold up. Man, I had the wrong answer. That's the only way that I can get the right answer, is by admitting that I had the wrong answer. But so often, we've been taught by our parents, because they didn't admit to their wrongs, we've been taught how to process wrongs the same exact way. And because we processing wrongs the same exact way, those wrongs continue to be in our life way past their due date. Yeah. They should have been expired. But they haven't expired because we haven't identified them as wrong. Because we felt like that if we identified them as wrong, it would make us be less than. Yeah. That's crazy.
You know what? You watch this new generation, like females, I won't say, a lot of females, even my ex did it. And I see a lot of people do what they do is, modern day generation, instead of living up to the problem, they change their profile, do a different pose, and get a tattoo. Right. Now they done change.
Yeah. Right.
Is that insane?
Yeah. Right.
Now they done change. I mean, then they get
they're not looking at their errors.
But it's still, they take the problem where to another city.
To another city.
Yep. The same character, the same person.
Everything. That's something that
same problem is there.
Right. There's a lot of people looking at me. They're like, "You ain't changed." I'm like, before it'd be like, "Yes, I have." Now I realize you're right. I ain't changed because you ain't changed yourself. I know I'm changing. So
right. No doubt.
From even getting into this conversation and getting mad, I'm just gonna walk away from it.
Absolutely.
I give this brother credit in so many different ways. It's like what my other nephews and my biological. This is my nephew. My biological nephews. Him. He was way ahead of the game on them. He had children first, whatever. Right. So he being his attempt, like you said, he got rights to make failures and and
right, no
understand
doubt.
them. His attempt was to do the right thing, and what he felt was, I've been telling you for years, come on, man, you know what our brothers don't do.
Right, no doubt.
Don't get yourself down, beat yourself up, it's okay.
No doubt. Absolutely.
Now we in the class identifying
what
you've been saying.
Absolutely.
Now you got to be intentional.
Absolutely.
These are
some
vocabulary.
Because he's right. I didn't do my best. I did good, but I ain't do my best.
That's all it is. Right. That's the question.
I beat myself up because I know I could have did my best.
Right, no doubt.
And me growing up always did, how do I get a C? Okay, I can do this, skip out on that because I don't feel like doing that.
Right.
Get my C. All right, I know how to pass all this. Don't even have to study for nothing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So you developed not doing your best.
Yeah,
then, right?
It's not good enough.
Right, no doubt. And now you like, man, hold up. Man, it's not good enough.
Ain't no shortcut.
So now you gotta, the longest route to success is the shortcut, man. No doubt. Ain't no doubt, man. The longest route to success is the shortcut. Every time, man. Every single time.
As far as like entrepreneurship, all that. The attempt, man, him and another one of his brothers, man.
Absolutely.
They got it.
Absolutely.
It's just a few adjustments, they gonna get there.
No doubt. No doubt.
Because everybody ain't doing what them dudes do.
Right.
You know.
But you hit a good point, Dave, and you said that beating yourself up. But this is one thing too. It's like now it's saying not only do we ask for forgiveness and we show our children how we ask for forgiveness. Now the next thing that we got to do is we got to forgive ourselves. That means that I'm not about to hold nothing over my head now, right? The reason why, because you said that I identified that I wasn't doing my best, but guess what I'm going to do now? I'm about to start doing my best. So because I'm about to start doing my best, you cannot hold to me. You cannot hold over my head when I wasn't doing my best, because that was then. And now I'm actually a whole different individual. So now I'm not doing the same thing that I was doing back then. So then therefore you can't hold that over my head. Not only that, but I understand that we are flawed individuals and nobody on this earth's surface is perfect. We are going to make errors. So yeah, I was thinking to do it that way, but guess what? Now I see that it's not the way to do it, and I'm not doing it that way no more, right? We have the ability to transition, and that's the main key in understanding that, man, you know what? I'm not about to hold anything over my head. And the reason why you don't want to hold anything over your head, now I'm not saying that just do stuff and then just continue to do stuff. You know, no, I'm talking about when you have apologized, you felt sorry, and you said that, hold up, I haven't been giving it my all, and now I'm about to start giving it my all. Once you made that decision to start giving it your all and you backed it up with action, now you have the right to move on from where you was at, because you are no longer at that block no more. You on a different block now, right? So what will happen is other people will try to hold you to back then, and you got to say, that's not me from back then, because I have, man, transitioned to a different block now. I've actually, man, made a shift inside of my mind. I'm different in the way that I'm thinking, and now that gave me the right to forgive myself. Why? Because I'm a new individual. I'm an evolved individual. So this is so necessary to forgive yourself, especially in parenting, because not only do you show your children how to forgive themselves. Remember, everything that we are doing, we are also modeling in front of our children. We are showing our children how to forgive themselves, because we don't want our children to be walking around with their heads all down and stuff like that, talking about all of the wrongs that they did and not being able to do right? We want them to be able to pick their heads up and learn from their mistakes and keep on growing, right? So then that's why it is important for us to be able to model how it looks to forgive ourselves in front of them. But also, what will happen when your children, being that they are immature, they will identify that you have an inability to forgive yourself and you are feeling ashamed about what you have done. They will exploit that. They will take advantage of you not forgiving yourself. How will they take advantage? They will say, Dad, you better not say nothing about me not doing right in school, because you know you ain't forgave yourself. Dad, you better get me them dang on Jordans, and you better get that dang on Xbox by Monday, because you know you still having troubles with forgiving yourself. Right? And I've seen that. I've seen parents trying to buy their children because of the guilt that they feel inside of them. And they have difficulty with forgiving themselves. The children know that they're having difficulty with forgiving themselves. So the children continue to run up the tally on them and say, get this, get that, get that. And they make them feel even more guilty because they say you wasn't here or you did this back then and whatever may be the case. And you are here right now trying to do everything that you need to do, but they continue to tell you about what you've done because they say as long as they keep you there, then guess what? They can continue to strip you of everything that you got.
It's so funny. My mom better love me because I never exported.
Right.
I could have, but I didn't.
Right. Like, and that's heavy, man.
Well, you said something earlier too that you got to, and tying into what you said, you got to pay. Mm-hmm. Some people pay a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So they buy their kids
rather
than paying their kids attention.
Rather
than paying their kids. So that's what I like, because I got some dude, here we go. My dude, man, he just got knocked on some other stuff. One of them dudes I said was insane to come home. He got these spots. I was cutting his yards. So when I first got home smoking, of course, then, 2 years ago, so I'm smoking good with him every day, but that's all I was doing. I'm like, they catch me in this bag I smoked on the way back, but because I'm watching this, and he was one of the reasons this little girl coming over, they treating her like the princess, like you do in any
Right,
regime.
right.
I mean, she the princess, like princess get treated. But in a sense that she just like the princess you see in the movie, spoiled, ain't
Right.
Just be blunt, ain't shit. What y'all teaching this girl to be like?
Right.
Right,
Right.
now, you don't even realize what you're doing.
Right.
He making so much money. He go to Walmart. Every house he got this Barbie doll, 3 or 4. Them cars that cost $500.
Right. Oh yeah.
At every house though.
Guilt, like that's crazy.
You can't make up for the time you missed with your other kids and
Right.
daughters and stuff, whatever. But this one right here, you doing her work. So
No doubt.
then he get knocked. Here we go.
It's impacting your
17
parenting.
years he got, right? What's that gonna do with all he gave her for them 6 years? Now
Stuff
what's
ain't
gonna
gonna
happen?
develop her. It's not gonna develop her.
How, I'm saying, what do you think he did? Because the first
No
4
doubt.
years is the care.
Where's the rest of it
Yeah,
at?
so now you
Right.
ain't getting that no more. What's gonna happen?
No doubt. No doubt. She's gonna base the value in that stuff
Exactly.
until she realizes that stuff really ain't worth much. Right? That's.
And she would tear
that's
stuff
what's
up that
crazy.
cost, like he come in, you know what she did yesterday? Just knock my, what's the Xbox order?
Xbox One.
Yeah, when they played the Xbox, the good one 2 years ago.
Yeah, Xbox One.
The whoever the good one, with all the gigabytes, whatever you
Right.
can do,
One
with
X,
the
yeah.
best, with all
Xbox
this
One
you
X.
can have. She just, and you know what? I went and got one, she knocked it over again. Just 'cause she's so spoiled, he ain't care because he spending money. Why? I'm looking at it like, man, you need to do something about her.
Not understanding.
You
Not
know?
understanding.
She gonna be a monster.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I was trying to do. Do all the stuff I could for my kids every weekend, because I ain't there with them throughout the week.
Right.
'Cause I'm working 2 jobs and I'm feeling guilty because I can't be there. I already know what she's doing, living her best life, which I used to be mad about. Now it's like, go ahead.
Right.
Damn,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So it just took a while, but now I realize I'm doing extra for no reason.
Right.
And really, all I
Right.
gotta do is just be there for y'all, because that's what
No
my
doubt.
grandma used to do for me. Because my mom had to work her butt off.
Right.
And then when I go spend a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm just looking at her like, man, you could have just got that and not bought nothing else. And I've been
No doubt.
You
No
do
doubt.
extra for yourself
No
for no
doubt.
reason.
No doubt.
So it took me a while to start identifying, oh shoot, I'm taking the same traits.
Absolutely. Yup.
And
Yup.
that's why I said I had to start identifying.
Yup.
And then recognizing that, I'm like, okay, all right, now I can see what I can do.
Right.
What I need to do.
Right.
So I can still get what I need to get done. So I can get that week or 2 weeks or that month I want with them as straight. They living with me. We gonna sleep together, waking up together.
No
drop
doubt.
them off to school.
Absolutely.
I'm figuring out that stuff. We're gonna, drop them off to school so they work in the morning time and get that stuff pattern going.
Right. Absolutely.
To where it needs to be, but
I'll tell you how your own business, brother, because you got it.
But until then, I realized, all right, let me do these different steps, because that's the only thing that I want to say people I grew up with never allowed themselves to give
Right.
the time to think about it.
Right.
And then, everybody used to always pressure me to do this, that, and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, I'm always a person like, give me time to think about it.
No doubt. No doubt.
Give me
No
time to
doubt.
think about it, because I
No
got
doubt.
to make sure what you're saying is going in with what I was given. Because, I took all my aspects from different
Different
women.
places. Yeah. No doubt. Right.
And I didn't get
Absolutely.
raised by the guys.
Right,
I raised by
absolutely.
women, which is weird.
Right. Absolutely. No, that's the common theme in
Yeah.
most hoods. Right. It just is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Just because of the state of our communities, man.
You know what, too? I come with the analogy, too.
Especially the 80s and 90s.
It's funny, dudes is killing each other, too. Because, if you look at the old Bible, the Old Testament, and mentality, not just in the Old Testament, but in many, how would I say, fighting, historian type cultures, where if I got this, you got that, it was eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the man who could hunt
Yes.
that was an asset.
Yep.
So if you take the asset away, took something away. So if you how would I say hastily took something away from this culture over here, like accidentally, it wasn't no accident. It was like, okay, you kill my son, I kill your son.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have 10,000, we're gonna have 20,000 people dead unless you give me one of your sons.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That type of stuff. So they thought about diplomatically,
Yeah.
like in the mentality. So now, that was a man's world. You got women now. You got these kids raised by women, and they think like women. And what I'm saying is, at that age, you couldn't hold a grudge because you had 20,000 people fighting and dying.
Right, right, no doubt, absolutely. You can't. You don't have the luxury to hold a grudge, right? You don't have the luxury for a grudge.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have the luxury to hold a grudge. Yeah. That's crazy.
Now you got these men and women raising these kids with grudges.
Right. That's how we should be thinking right now. We don't have the luxury to hold no grudge. Yeah. We don't have the luxury.
No, I really don't. No.
We don't. I'm telling you, we don't. We do not have the luxury to hold no grudge, man. We don't have the luxury.
No, that's just.
We don't have the luxury, man.
If you don't stop, it's transferred. So if you continue to anger, they gonna never stop.
Oh, dang. Hold up. We don't have the luxury to hold a grudge against nobody else. We don't have no luxury to hold a grudge against ourselves, right? We don't have the luxury to hold a grudge against ourselves because any one of those that we are experiencing when we are holding the grudges, man, is stopping progression. Yeah. And that's why we don't have the luxury, because we cannot afford for progression to cease. Yeah. So we don't have the luxury. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Malcolm, when he was thinking in one way, a lot of people think Malcolm got killed by the nation, whatever, because that's what history taught you, because he was trying to take over the nation. But the true fact of, when you look at the whole history was, Malcolm was trying to do something bigger than what they're trying to say. He was trying to have justice and equality for all people who had, civil rights and justice in the world. Because when he went over to Mecca and studied over there, he seen white Muslims.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
So he had that mentality of seeing injustices all over the world. And he was going to put a panel on this stuff that we talking about right now. Then,
right?
That's why they killed him, because the injustices and the equalities. He understood that. My point is he wasn't in the right state of mind in the beginning to see that.
No doubt. Right.
Get what I'm saying? But when he see the truth, brought a rise in, calm down.
No doubt.
And that's where you go back to when you said, make sure that the kids put themselves in the right positions and with the characteristics that we give them, because that's when I had to start realizing, okay, I can't be around these certain people. Right. I'm not going to change for the better.
No doubt. No doubt.
Go over that way.
You're going to become them unconsciously.
I'm going to stay the same way, which is what people want you to do.
Because it makes them comfortable.
Makes them comfortable.
It makes them comfortable, man. Like, they don't want to see you different because it makes them uncomfortable. When they see you different, it's like, hold up, that makes me uncomfortable because I probably should be different myself. Mm-hmm. And with you having the courage to change, that's making me look like a coward to stay the same. Yeah. And it doesn't make me feel good, right? Like, it's all a feeling.
And a father, and then the other nephew was looking at him like, man, he don't want to come play the game. I was like, I was defending him.
Right.
He can't play the game. He can't do that, y'all.
Right.
They still asking me.
This man got kids.
Right, no doubt. Right, no doubt. Right, no doubt. But in time it will be. In time, you'll be able to play it how you want to play it, right? It's going to be in a whole different way, right? It's going to be in a whole different way.
I would love to be one of those ones from Walmart with the Ninja Turtles on there and the kids.
Ain't no doubt.
I can't wait for that.
Ain't no doubt, man. Ain't no doubt. It's going to be in the right timing, though, man. So then that's the second phase. That's the second prong to the forgiveness process is forgiveness of self. And then the last one is forgiving others. So we want our children to see what it looks like when we forgive others, when we forgive them, right? We want to let them know, hey, man, this is what forgiveness look like. So, for instance, my son, the 23-year-old, I kid you not, that brother say, man, Dad, man, let me go ahead and get a couple bucks. I'll pay you back on Friday. No doubt, I got you. He paid me back. He hit me again. Dad, let me get a couple bucks. I'll pay you back on Friday. No doubt, I got you. Right? He paid me back. Then the brother took it up to like 200. He says, Dad, let me get 200. I'll pay you back on Friday. I said, okay, I got you. You into the 3 digits, I mean, I don't know, but okay. And when I called him, I couldn't find him. I was really pressing this brother. I was like, man, how you ain't answering the phone, man? Your phone on my dang on bill. Like, how Why you ain't answering the phone, man? You know, I was really pressing this brother. I was texting him and everything, like, man, where my $200, man? You know, like, don't think you do mess around. Don't make me put on the gloves. Don't make me put on them dang gloves. Like, you better. I said, don't make me put on them gloves, son, man. I don't care, man. Like, man, where my dang on money at, man? You owe me $200, man. You know, that brother didn't respond. That brother was missing in action. I didn't know where the heck he was at, man. I ain't seen that brother for like about 4 or 5 months, man. And then when I finally seen him, I talked to him. I say, what's up, son? He says, damn, man, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. I wanted to tell you, man, I was going through some stuff, man. I ain't know how to tell you, man. I ain't had your money, though, man. The stuff is coming at me all kind of ways. I say, man, that's cold-blooded, man. You stiffed me on that 200, man. You know? So he ran off on the plug for real. I say, man, that's cold-blooded, man. But what happened was that I told him, I said, that's cool, man, whatever. You know, so of course, I forgave him. The brother, he comes back to me again. He says, Dad, man, let me go ahead and borrow, you know, until Friday, man. And I said, man, you know what? He said something like a bigger number. And I said, no, I can't do no bigger numbers, though. I said, man, I can let you borrow, you know, a smaller number, you know, like 20 or something like that, 30. He said, okay, cool. So I said, but I told him, I said, I forgave him, but guess what? I wasn't about to give him the same thing that I was giving him before, right? Yeah, I'm not about to, I'm giving you something. Like, you don't have the rights to get up there no more. Like, you down here, you know? So I showed him that I've forgiven him, but I still didn't forget. Forgiving is not forgetting. Right. I still remember, brother, I'm not about to put 200 in your hand and you going to stiff me for the 200. You can stiff me for the 20, and then after that, then I might not give you another 20, right? So I'm just giving you a chance to get right? So, of course, after that, man, the brother, he went on ahead and just, man, put it in my cash app without even telling me. I say, man, that's good stuff, man. When Friday came, he just cashed at me right back. I was like, man, that's good stuff. And he was consistent on that, man, ever since, man. I'm like, man, that's dope, man. But I forgave him, but I didn't forget. Forgiving is not forgetting. Because if we forget what has been done to us, then we are setting ourselves up for it to happen to us again. We don't want to forget it, right? The reason why we don't want to forget it because we want to be able to avoid from it happening to us in the future, right? Not only that, but I also want to teach my children how to stay away from that type of stuff as well, so it don't happen to them. If I have faced some trying stuff from somebody, I don't want to forget it, because if I do, then my children can be set up by the same type of character. Yeah. If I'm not able to describe to them the type of person who does these type of things, right? So we want to remember. So often people say, man, well, if you forgave, then you forgot. It's like, heck, no, I'm not going to forget. That's going to be an investment into my future. Why? Because I'm going to make sure I stay away from that type of person in the future. So I don't get that type of result, because I'll get that similar type of result if I come in contact with that same type of person. So forgiving is not forgetting. So then that's what I made sure that I remembered, that he stiffed me for that 200.
Or forgetting and keeping that same mindset.
Right. Right.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna come up with the same results.
It's gonna come up with the same results. So it's just like even if people have done me wrong in the past or whatever, like my son, I'll still be looking and say, man, hold on, let me see. And I started to increase on what I was loaning him, but I had to still get it from him. I had to make sure that I was looking at a new individual, a different version of himself. But I wasn't messing with that same version of himself back then when he stiffed me for the 200. I had to see a different version, but I had to be confident that it was a different version before I went on ahead and increased in the amount of money that I was loaning him, right? So that's what made me remember. I just remembered. It was like, man, I'm not about to end up like that again, because I'm going to be back in the same situation. So forgiveness is not forgetting, right? So forgiveness is another major piece into establishing a strong, positive relationship with our children. Remember, the 3 prongs to forgiveness is asking for forgiveness, forgiveness of self, and forgiveness of others. We do that, our relationships will be strong, and our children will be strong, and they will benefit from us as parents, right? Powerful.
I know one thing, kids tomorrow, so we can have a good old
Right.
structure of next week.
Ain't no doubt, man. Heck yeah, man.
Get your girl, right?
That's good stuff, huh?
You got a little girl tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep, she just told me today, too. She said, it's daddy week right now. I said, it's tomorrow, dog. It's tomorrow, man. She said, it's daddy week. I said, it's tomorrow, man. So, yeah.
I know what I can do for next week, you know. When I pick them up from school, have that good conversation and stuff like that. And
That's
we
good,
can
man.
set up, you know, because I want to hear from them what they would like to do with me.
Right.
And I'll let them know what I can and cannot do.
Right, no
You
doubt.
know?
Yep.
Because I feel like that's who I need to hear from, connect to,
Yep.
instead of hearing from their mom. And it's like, okay, it's cool that you're saying that, but, and then, you know, they're going to say the same thing. It's just, I want to hear from them.
Yep.
That way I know what we about to do, because it's really just us.
Yeah,
Trying to figure
absolutely.
out stuff.
Absolutely.
And not being an asshole about it, it's just that's the
Absolutely.
connection I want.
So, and that's another thing too with the conversation, just like asking them too, like who they friends is at school, what their names are, you know, what they like about them and stuff like that, and things like that. What some of their best qualities, you know, these is all conversation starters that can get them to talking. Only thing that we want them to do is be comfortable in talking to us. So we want to establish that foundation to where our children are
I ain't got no
comfortable.
word with my older daughter. She gonna talk to me.
She gonna-
Lord, I ain't got no words.
Absolutely.
She don't talk,
Yep.
and it's funny, she don't talk to anybody else when
Yeah,
she's in school
yeah,
or anything like that. But
yeah.
all to me, we talk.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
like, oh, yeah, let's
Yep.
talk then. All
Yeah,
right.
no doubt, absolutely. And then be intentional with the positive feedback. Remember the empathetic facial expressions, the nodding the head, summarizing what's being said. You know what I'm saying? All of those things is showing them that you are engaged in the conversation.
That's how I challenged that principal yesterday. You know, now exactly what you said about the barriers between the student. And I said, I asked him certain things, acknowledging with the children. When you can say there ain't enough time for the kids, and to be dealing with all these kids, and then you go back to your office, but is that really cool?
No doubt.
You can't take that role and fulfill what that child needs in that moment, or at least be able to recognize to it. You can pass that energy on to a counselor,
Mm-hmm.
then it's an injustice
Right.
for the kid. I mean, I'm bringing up stuff. He was like, "We should have seen that lady doing this."
Absolutely. I've been in the same. I've been in the
You
same
know what I'm
position.
saying? Like
Absolutely.
I'm making keen points
Right.
to where me giving them, helping them. We making this and we'll go along. It's an issue. You don't think it's wrong, and that kid walk out, the energy's still there. If it ain't fixed, it ain't fixed. Just because you walking out the room, what if that kid want to commit suicide or
Right.
be a bully?
No doubt.
So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. So next Saturday, brother.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna do my best to bring these two. Man, they need you bad.
Yeah, bring them on in, man. Bring them on in,
I've been
man.
trying to bring them
They can get on your link
I ain't
though
about
and
to
look
force
at
nobody.
former
Right,
classes.
man,
before,
yeah.
Huh?
They can look at former classes because I don't Google. On your
Yeah, on
and
Instagram,
see.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I need, Joe.
What do you say on Instagram? Could you link me? Oh, I got that on my phone. Your link on your Instagram.
Yeah, with
Because she sent me that one time.
the
I
Instagram.
got some type of link.
Oh no! You just gotta you just gotta get the Instagram app, but you don't have an Instagram account.
No.
Okay, you
I
got a
ain't on
Facebook
Instagram.
account?
Yeah, I got Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I ain't using it. You know why?
Right. Oh, you know what? I also uploaded to YouTube too.
All
So,
right, you can do YouTube. All right.
Yep. So I also upload all the videos to YouTube.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's
So yeah, so I upload the classes to YouTube. You'll see the classes from
And I
upstairs.
show it because they
On YouTube.
and stuff like that. So that's the best way for them. Just probably step into it, just watch it on YouTube.
This Chambers River. Oh, Chambers. Is that Ryan Chambers?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, he just said sorry he couldn't make it. He'll be here next Saturday. He was on here. Oh, yep. Yeah, the good brother Ryan, man. Yep. All right. So next Saturday, 12 o'clock, brother.
Okay. Ready, bro.
All right.
It's crazy. You still talking to Ryan?
Nah, he was on. He was just commenting on the video.